Hey guys, it's Jamie here, and today I want to show you how to make a really simple document wallet that's going to make a notebook with plenty of writing space for you as a junk journal using our newest kit, which are these beautiful document papers that also have plain pages as well that you can print on the reverse. I've already started to prepare some papers, and what I've been doing is deliberately tearing out the white edges rather than cutting them, because I want an old document look. So something we'll be doing in today's tutorial is making these papers look even older than they currently look. I'll show you what I've been doing initially with my papers. I don't even know how many I've printed up, but I've printed them up onto 120 GSM because I want to be able to scrunch them. So that's just a good quality paper. A printer paper is normally 80 to 90 GSM, so it's stronger than that, but it's not necessarily a cardstock, although the cover I make will be from cardstock. A lightweight cardstock, 200 GSM. All I'm doing is using a ruler, a normal ruler, grabbing bits of paper and tearing along an edge. Here's all the papers that I've got ready for this document wallet. I've also got a hammer, and what we're going to do now is very carefully hammer and tear at the edge of these papers a little bit more. This is a slow process. You don't just have to use a hammer. You can also use things like a metal ruler to get more tears. You can take less papers. When you've been round all the edges, you're also going to grab the papers, scrunch them up, get your hammer, bash them a bit, and generally just really work these papers into a bit of a mess. All these papers have now been scrunched up and had the edges attacked to a certain degree. What we're going to do now is get some vintage photo, go round these scrunched up edges. Even got a nice rip in that one. Go a bit over the paper in places, very lightly, because this paper will stain because it's only printer inkjet, not laser print. Get it a bit wet and create some runs on this paper. You can also do this with ink spray if you've got ink spray. So we'll do a version with ink spray so you can see the difference. So here's the alternative way to age those papers, and it's up to you what effect you like. And that will be to spray the edges, spray a little bit down into them, then get an ink stain that's a spray. And I've actually got 3 here. I've got walnut stain, antique linen, and vintage photo. Spray along the edges, spray some more water so it moves down the papers. Gather this lot up, do the same, spray lots of water, get a different colour, say the antique linen, that one a blast. Spray with a bit more water. Another way to do this will be to take your sprays, put them onto like a jelly plate or this wax paper, mix them up, grab your paper, lay it on, spray it with water, get it to run. You can get different effects for your papers depending on what look you want. You can experiment and decide which looks better. You can try spraying it with water first and then lay it on. 3 different ways you can get these to look older, uniquer. You can get black coffee, so play and let the papers dry. I actually had these out drying on the washing line because it's such a beautiful day here. So I've got the papers dry and dyed. I still quite like a stronger border, so I'm going to go back over them with an actual ink. I don't know if this is going to be strong enough or whether I need to use a different one. I'm going to go around all the papers, maybe where there's some creases, pick those up. So we start to really age these up. I know this is a lot of prep, but I'm hoping it's going to be worth it in the final result. In addition to these papers, I've also, for some old books, I know it's a document folio, but I'm currently doing the Botanics Creator Club, so I thought if I include one Botanics paper, then some fussy cuts for decorating maybe later. That will give that a botanics twist. And then I also want to do one in our poppies. I've got something from a children's book on Yorkshire, and some Russian dictionary. I'm going to take one of the papers and make sure that the paper I'm putting in is not bigger. I may even make it a bit smaller by ripping a few little bits off and edge them. With these papers that have been edged that have come from books, something I'm going to do is take the white gesso and scrub over the papers, so it's just a dry brushing motion, and we'll be doing it on both sides. These papers have now been white gessoed over both sides. Here I have what's going to be our cover, so it's the same papers, but this time with the white borders just removed and stained with the vintage photo around the edges. I'll use my scoreboard for this one. I'm going to take about 3/4 of an inch score line, and then fold that one over. I'm going to stain this edge because this is now the new folder edge, both sides. Then we're going to put our papers into this cover. I'm going to need to tear some down to get them to fit inside this, and restain a few edges. These have now been torn down, and I have 7 papers in total. What I'm going to do is place them so that the typed pages from books are roughly centre, paper clip them, and then paper clip everything again. Using my ruler, mark up my halfway point. I want to make sure all my papers catch. A hole there, there. We should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the largest setting. I'm going to go through each one. They probably will not line up perfectly. To protect this and to also decorate the front, we're going to use this piece of ephemera from our Essential Ephemeras kit. And then I'm hoping if we do 2, and now I'm going to glue it over the holes. Burnish them down really well and let that glue dry off a little bit. Once the glue has dried, we're going to use the holes that we can see on the inside to punch through those tape ephemera that we've just added as hole reinforcers decoration. Really annoyingly, I can't find the brads that are the old looking ones. I can only find these split pin brads. So I'm going to see if I've got 5 of the same colour, 5 red. Okay, so we're going to go with using something a little bit more jazzy and modern. I'm going to have to cope with the fact some of these are badly made. Now we want to fold it to make a wallet. Once you've found roughly where you want to fold it, you want to line it up along your cutting board. You're going to need to come in and bone folder that. Get your ink, do the edge, try to line everything up, bone folder it down, and again stain along that new edge. I have some red raffia that we can use as the tie, so getting a reasonable length of that, take that middle brad, let it lift up a bit so that the string goes under it, and tie that in a knot. Once that's under, you can go back this way and close down any spare space you think you've got on that. And that will be your wrap round to do this up. Thread it round a few times and put a thread through. Next we're going to decorate this, and because I've used the red brads, I'm going to decorate it with the poppy fussy cuts. When it comes to decorating this style document wallet, because of how it is, you don't really need to add too much in the way of decoration, just the odd thing is fine. I've got some of the poppy fussy cuts and some red words and labels. I've also got some normal beige style ephemera. and we're going to decorate the front cover first. We could put a small background and then put that down. Background wise, I've got some of this fake ledger. Put that on the front. Put a number on. I do have some blank labels, so if you wanted that person to be able to write that it's a journal, you could add a blank label. I'm not sure I've got one the right size. Oops, it's not very straight. I could get an ink stamp and partially ink stamp it. I think that will do for the front cover. And when you open this out, maybe you want to put something on here. Just get a little number somewhere. Grab the rest of my stamp and put that over, and that's a little decoration on the inside. And obviously you do not have to decorate all of it, but you might want to add some pieces. Two things. If you wanted to, you could add pockets. I'm probably not going to. I'm just going to go with adding some decoration in places like that. I'm going to continue to decorate in this very simple style. Let's go through the poppy decoration and anything else that I've done to the journal. One thing I did was on these crease marks where it all folds up, I've added some staining. Here we've just got a label, so you can write on this page. On these plain pages, I've left them pretty blank, just a small decoration in one corner, so you have plenty of writing space. On this book page, I've added the postcard and a piece of coffee stained paper, plain page. Although this is one of the printables, I've added some extra writing areas on it, another plain page and another book page with a small writing area added, decorated area added as well. And that is the poppy style.